Hey there, I'm Chris Kroll, Editor-in-Chief of Solar Builder Magazine. A quality solar installation starts with respecting your customer's roof. And today in the pitch, we're talking about roof protection with Rick Gentry and Ben Hedrick from QuickBOLT. So QuickBOLT has a cool new product, the QuickPATCH, that is specifically geared toward improving a solar installer's ability to protect and repair a roof during a job. Before we discuss the product, though, I was hoping you could explain some of the most common problems that solar installers encounter when they're up on the roof.
Some problems that people run into are mounts that aren't, waterproof, holes in the roof, even carrying stuff up to the roof. So at QuickBOLT, we've tried to make mounts that are very easy to use, simple, quick. It's in our name, and eliminate some of the problems they have even getting up to the roof by making package easier to carry, all the way down to making it easy to order. So we try to eliminate as many problems as we can on and off the roof, but some of the stuff they see on the roof is that as well.
So how has the industry's approach evolved over the last few years? Because it does feel like there's been changes in products and maybe a change in what are considered best practices for a solar installation these days.
So what happened is years ago when we were tasked with this, we came up with a solution that didn't require the installer to lift the shingle. And it's called the QuickBOLT, and that design really started this whole thing off. What we did was we actually made a design using what we call bolt seal technology. What it does is the compression seal seals at the point of penetration, and it's a little bit different than making a large 9x11 piece of metal to cover a 5/16 hole that will just shed the water around it. This does the same thing, except it requires very little surface area, and it doesn't require you to lift the shingles or do anything else to the roof surface, which has been a game changer. And we've seen a lot of other companies trying to catch up now lately. So that, I think, was what really did it for us.
So the biggest thing that we find is getting feedback from the men and women that are actually on the roof. So we want to help solve problems that they're coming up with and that they're seeing on an everyday basis. So all of our product offerings and what our R&D team kind of runs with is when we go out and talk to solar installers, and they say, hey, I really like this mount, but I'm having issues with X, Y, and Z on these kind of roofs or these kind of situations. And so what Rick and his team do a great job of is running with those and coming up with actual solutions to problems that people are seeing in the field, instead of us just trying to grab them out of thin air and create a problem that's not actually there.
So missed pilot holes is just kind of a given, something that's going to happen on the job. It's a common issue. Is there anything in the QuickBOLT product line that helps installers when this happens, or maybe to avoid it altogether?
Several things have happened. So when we first came out with this, we had a 3-inch micro flashing, and we determined that there's about 3 to 5 missed rafters per job. So two things that happened. One is we actually developed a wider micro flashing that allows you to miss by further. We also have another add-on called a mini flashing that if you really miss by a lot, you can actually still cover it where it sheds the water. And then the other thing is people started using, including us, butyl as a mount, as a sealing property. So that is another thing that kind of added to it. And then the last thing that I think is a big game changer is the direct to deck. When we first started out, we were thinking, no, that's crazy. You can't go direct to deck. But then we saw other companies doing it, and we started doing our own tests, and we found out, well, the pullout is pretty substantial on that. We developed one that has over 800 pounds of pull-up. So that's enough to, when you're laying them out an array, and then the engineers making the design, they can calculate so that those are enough to meet whatever wind load ratings that you are required on the job.
Yeah, and you mentioned it there, and that's what I wanted to get into next, butyl and the importance of butyl. It's something I'm seeing a lot of mounting manufacturers promoting these days, having butyl as a part of their mount. Can you explain why butyl is important, maybe the different properties of different butyls, and how you're incorporating it into your product line?
It's flexible, it's durable, it will resist water, it's water resistant. It doesn't degrade over time. So you get all these sealing properties. It's really in extreme heats and really cold. It's not as, you have to work, you have to do things to work around that. But for the most part, in most average temperature conditions, you can use it and use it effectively. And it's been a game changer. And I think that adding that to the bottom of a lot of the sealing, anything you're mounting to seal is an effective use, and it works.
All right. And all of this leads to your newest product, the QuickPATCH. Talk about the idea behind this, when it comes into play, how you see installers using it.
So the QuickPATCH is designed exactly what the name sounds like. It's a quick way to patch a hole in the roof. So if it's, hey, I missed a rafter, or you go up and the homeowner says, hey, I need you to remove an old satellite dish that's on the roof, or you're taking out the anchor that you're using, that your safety anchor holes, really has a bunch of uses in fixing those holes. It's very easy. It's real nice and compact piece of galvanized steel. Has butyl on the bottom, butyl on the top. And basically, they just have to peel up the shingle, slide it under, and then step on it. And it makes a watertight seal, so they don't have to worry about anything going forward. Very quick and easy way to fix that patch.
Can you explain how you're using butyl with this product differs from a mount? Because I know with butyl-based mounts, the pressure matters, right? Where the screws are placed, the pressure from the screw to push compress the butyl that's there. Here there's no screws, so I'm just curious how through the product design, through how you're installing it, it is able to kind of maintain that seal.
What my experience with butyl is, it's very sticky. It's got a very good adhesion. In fact, I've taken our butyl bottom deck mounts and just pressed it really hard on the. We have these little mock roofs. They're about foot by foot, and I could pick the whole thing up with it. So as far as how the patch is going to work, it's going to be the same thing. You're going to put it under there, and the install instructions say, after you put it in, and then you peel off the top strip, put everything down and step on it. And that's going to be enough compression to get that seal that you're looking for.
If someone feels like the old flash card and sealant tube is good enough, though, why should they try QuickPATCH instead? What's your pitch there?
The thing that when we designed this, we talked about that. First of all, it's not, you have to go and do something. You have to cut a piece of, usually they're in rolls, so you have to cut the flash card out. Maybe they come in little packages, and then you have to take your sealant out and you squirt it all over. And then you put it under there, and then what's going to hold the top down? Maybe you're going to squirt some on the top. This can create a mess. People get it on their hands. It's also, you're using 2 or 3 different things to make this happen. And what we found is that the ease, it's just all there, right there. It's measurable. It's one piece. You just take it and it's done. You know exactly what your cost is. There's no questioning it. Anyone can do it. Anyone can use it. It's so easy. And the bottom line is that last piece what a lot of people have said is that last strip of butyl on the top is the real big deal, because once you put those down, the shingles down, it's going to hold everything together just like it was before.
The other reason also is that it doesn't disrupt the flow of actually installing on the roof. Whereas you can fit these right in your pouch, take them up with you if you need them. Whereas if you're using the card method, you have to go off the roof, go down, cut it, come back up. So it makes it a lot more efficient too.
Yeah, that stood out to me too. The ability to have a bunch of the quick patches kind of in the truck, ready to go at any job site. Last question on the install though. Obviously the QuickBOLT product line involves a lot of top-down mounts, so you don't have to lift the shingle or have the installer do any of that. But here you're having to lift the shingle to install the QuickPATCH. I guess, can you talk about the decision to go that route to offer this product?
Sure. And that's really in the case of hurricane strips where you see that as a bigger problem. With that said, there are still mounts that require that, the traditional mounts that have always been in play. They require you to lift the shingles. One of the problems they have is, yeah, they tear the shingles. So now the benefit of this product is it's small. It's 4 inches. So it's 4 inches wide by 5 inches. So you don't have to peel as much up. So that's the advantage there. You can kind of take your time a little bit and really wrench your crowbar or whatever you're using to peel up the shingles.
As you said, QuickBOLT offers products that go just direct to deck only. For installers who are doing that, that seems like a situation where you probably won't be needing the QuickPATCH as much, right?
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of using a direct to deck mount is you don't miss rafters. So you're just going to screw it in where it lies, where you need it, whatever your span is, you find that area, screw it down, and then you're done. So you won't have any missed rafter holes to seal, and you won't probably need the QuickPATCH that much in those applications.
What's the trend there? Are you seeing installers gravitating more toward deck mounting versus going to the rafter?
It depends. I'm in Colorado, and it seems like people are moving a little bit more to deck mounts, so they don't have to worry about finding rafters and just doing it. But we have people that really, really love, the rafter, the extra strength that the rafters provide, and doing it that way. So I really think it just comes down to the business model of each individual company.
Yeah, keeping in mind the uplift is probably 3 to 4 times more with the rafter.
Okay, very good. For interested installers out there who feel like they could use a bunch of QuickPATCHs and want to stock them in their truck, where should they go to learn more and place an order?
So they can go to our website, QuickBOLT.com. They can find us on Instagram at QuickBOLT Solar, YouTube at QuickBOLT. A lot of different places. If they want to place an order, they can place an order through a distributor like Green Tech or Codale. They can also order directly through the website if they would like. So it's very, very easy. And they can call, and someone at the home office will actually pick up as well. So it's we try to solve as many problems as possible by making stuff as easy as possible.
Oh, wow. You have someone that's actually going to pick up the phone. That's actually seems like a pretty big deal to me these days based off of customer service experiences I've had. So very good.
Sometimes it's even the founder of the company, Greg answering the phone. So.
Well, hey, Rick, Ben, thanks for taking the time to stop by and make the pitch today.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, thanks a lot.